Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Sℹte from the Chicago camp coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And I found this article on RT USA, and this story is regarding an issue in my neighborhood here in Chicago. And it says, FBI says dozens of Chicago street gangs form pact to kill any cop seen drawing weapon on suspect report. Okay, and this is this sentiment is the response to George Floyd, and I believe somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was an incident that literally just happened in LA maybe about like 2 days ago, if that, about 2 days ago, where a cop shot another Jake. And so it's one of those things where these situations where you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans out here have these situations with these officers from other nations. You know, these events that you see here are, how should I say this? The anger and the resentment that there's no justice for these shootings, that those sentiments are spilling over into man wanting to take vengeance for himself. Okay, get revenge. And that's, hey, you know what? I wasn't planning on getting that, but that's a good one to start off on. It says, no, that's not it. Romans 12 and 19. There it is. It says, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves. Basically, don't take justice into your own hands. All right, you have to remember, this battle isn't ours, it's the Lord's. All right, it's the Lord that dictates what is going to be and what is not going to be. It says, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith Yahweh. Okay? The Lord does not want you taking the law into your own hands. He does not want you to be a vigilante. Now is not the time to take up arms and say, you know what, now we're going to start doing this on our own. Okay, we're supposed to, as King David said, wait on the Lord. Wait, I say. He said it twice. He said, wait, I say. But see, our people, they've lost patience. And you know, the scripture says, woe to you who have lost patience. All right, our people have been over in this country for over 400 plus years, getting the shaft, getting the bullet, getting the rope, getting the draconian law. I mean, we've been getting the worst end of every single illegal and vile action that bad Uncle Esau can dish out without even the smallest bit of justice. Okay, and now it's getting to the point where that anger, that hate, that resentment, all these sentiments are spilling out, and it's getting to the point where now, you know, you got these gangs here in Chicago who are just like, you know what, enough is enough. All right, if they want to get off on shooting us, we're going to get off on shooting them. And I believe, let's get into some of this article. It says the FBI has issued an alert to Chicago police warning that nearly 36 street gangs may have struck an agreement to shoot any officer seen with their gun drawn in public on site, according to a local news report. All right. It says FBI officials in Chicago recently issued a situational information report to CPD law enforcement pointing to a possible multi-gang pact to gun down officers in the streets, a local ABC affiliate reported on Monday. Members of these gang factions have been actively searching for and filming police officers in performance of their official duties. The FBI alert said the purpose of which is to catch on film an officer drawing his or her weapon on any subject and the subsequent shoot on sight of said officer in order to garner national media attention. It says the alliance includes well-known groups such as Latin Kings and Vice Lords, as well as more obscure gangs including the Almighty Black Peace Stone Nation. And the Stones here are not an obscure group. I'm gonna just let you know that for sure if you've never been to Chicago. Trust me, the Stones are not an obscure group. And it's Islamic breakoff affiliation known as the El Rukns, which is not an obscure gang here. Trust me. All of these are very well known big time gangs here in Chicago. It says all of them belong to a pre-existing gang alliance, the People Nation. It says while the FBI document dated August 26 noted the alert was sourced from a contact whose reporting is limited and whose reliability can't be determined, suggesting it may have come from a police source, a witness in an ongoing case, or from information gleaned through law enforcement surveillance. The superintendent of CPD, David Brown, said officers are currently facing a sense of lawlessness in the city. And the only reason why they're doing that is so they can bring in the military. All right, that's the only thing. Let's continue. It says, I think it's bigger than a suggestion, said Brown, who declined to comment on the FBI alert directly, but added, I think 51 officers being shot at or shot in 1 year, I think that quadruples any previous year in Chicago's history. So I think it's more than a suggestion that people are seeking to do harm to cops. Okay, in a separate statement provided to ABC affiliate, CPD said it was aware of threat posed by street gangs and that it takes all threats against officers seriously, adding that it had taken all proper precautions to keep them safe. Let me see how much is left. All right, this is the end of it. So it says the alleged formation of the street gang supergroup comes as Chicago seeks a spike in violent crime with 55 people shot, 10 of them fatally over last weekend alone, according to Chicago Sun-Times. The weekend prior similarly saw 66 shot, 5 of which were killed. The surge in shootings also comes amid a wave of demonstrations and unrest over recent police shootings, namely that of George Floyd in Minnesota and Jacob Blake in Wisconsin, which in Chicago have frequently escalated to riots, looting, and vandalism. So what you have here is a time in the history where Jake is fed up. Jake is completely fed up with being I can't even say a second-class citizen. Jake is completely fed up with being the butt of all jokes and just the laughing stock and the garbage of the world. And now they're like, it's time to stand back up and and get even. And even the scripture talks about that, because all this is being done by the Most High. Okay, I believe that was in Genesis. Was it 47? Where it says, "Who shall rouse him up?" Let me put this on pause and find it. All right, this is Genesis 49 and 8. It says, "Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies." All right. That means, hey, we going to be going at it with all our enemies. And it says, "Thy father's children shall bow down before thee." And it says, "Judah is a lion's whelp from the prey, my son, thou art going up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?" The Lord is going to rouse Judah up. All right. And then all the other tribes are going to follow after that. And then the Lord is rousing you Jakes up by all these jacked up killings. Basically, these legalized public execution by the Ku Klux Klan members. All right, because our people, seeing as they refuse to get right, no matter how much you tell them to get right with the Lord, all right, the Lord just has to keep chastising you. And the Lord is doing that in the sense of showing you all these senseless public executions through social media, regular media, however it is. Now the Lord's just showing you. He's showing you George Floyd, the brother in Wisconsin, recently this brother in LA, so on and so forth. All right, and Jake is just getting disgusted, just utterly fed up with it. Because you have to think, man, if the Lord didn't do this type of stuff, all right, you Jakes would still be asleep. You would be in a slumber, spiritually and physically. You would just sit down like everything is all right here in America. This is the way things are supposed to be. Or as the other nations call it, the status quo. But the Most High is doing this to rouse you all up so you can shake that sense of, I believe the word is apathy. All right? That apathy and that laziness off you. All right, get up off your ass and do something. Because all this is really just to get your attention to get right. But as the scripture says in Zechariah the 13th chapter, many of our people are not going to get right. Because now since you got the Lord doing this, this is just only going to fulfill the prophecy of 2nd Ezra, the 15th and 16th chapter, where it talks about civil unrest and all-out anarchy. Because it's only going to be so long that these Jakes are going to sit around and watch these messed up public executions. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 15. It says, I'm starting at 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." Right. You're going to have 12 tribes getting it in on bad Uncle Esau and all these other nations. And it says, "For there shall be sedition among men, a violent uprising, Why? Because Jake is tired of watching each other get. It's kind of funny because we kill each other every day, but when cops do it, then it's a problem. But nonetheless, all right, Jake is getting tired of seeing each other just get shot down like savage animals in the street. Now, in many cases, is Jake doing something wicked in the first place to deserve it? Yeah. But there are situations where you try to figure out, how did the situation escalate so fast? And the Jake was being calm, cool, and cooperative. What's that one video where I forgot what state it happened in, but it was the one Jake with his girlfriend and his child in the back, and he told him that he had a gun and he had a permit and all this stuff, and the cops still blasted him, killing him right in front of his woman and his child. I forgot the brother's name or what state it is in. If you know, you can let me know. But yeah. So you got a lot of situations where Jake's doing some foul and they deserve to get shot. And then you got situations like that brother that I just explained where the guy's cooperating, but yet he still gets murdered. Okay? Jake is tired of looking at this. Jake is tired of going through it. And this is all this is just really the work of the Lord just steering us up for this situation right here. And it says, the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, violent uprising, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Because if you got gangs here in Chicago, all right, the Vice Lords, the Latin Kings, the Stones, the GDs, the BDs, well, if you all are not aware of the GDs and the BDs, the Gangster Disciples, and the Stones, all right, the Four Corner Hustlers, all these different gangs here in Chicago. If you have all these gangs that are coming together to say, hey, you know what? We not taking no more shit. Let's just start shooting these cops. That's a clear indicator that they're not scared of any police officers. They're not scared of the consequences that they're going to do. They're not scared of the consequences of the mayor. They're not scared of the consequences of J.B. Pritzker, who's our governor here in Illinois. That's a telltale sign what this prophecy says, where it says they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Because when a person gets to this point, hey man, it's like that worldly saying goes, you don't fight a scared man. Some people say you don't fight a cornered man, because that man's going to attack with a hellish fury. And see, that's what we're going to have coming in the very near future, where you're going to have a whole lot of cops being shot. I believe, what was it, two of them got shot just recently. It's getting to the point where, now I'm sure gangs have done this in the past, shot back at cops, but not like this. As folks so eloquently put it on the media, it's like the Wild Wild West. But hey, if this is even remotely true, then this civil unrest is going to be here very soon. So it would behoove you, to get right with the Lord, and just make sure you got some protection in that time. Because when all hell breaks loose, hey, you don't want to be found not having the protection of the Lord. So I hope you all were edified. And until the next time, we're going to say shalom.